You're watching Adorama TV.
Hi everybody, welcome to Adorama TV. Well, this week we're taking a look at Movie Slate. This is really the Rolls Royce of slates for the iPad. It does so much we're going to need a little time to explain it all. So let's dive right into Movie Slate. Movie Slate's an application that's very powerful. It's about $20, and let me explain to you why I think it's worth the money. The first thing that this will do is it has Timecode that is a must-have in any slate that's electronic like this. It also allows you to go in and put in all the data for your scene and your movie. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So if I want to change something, I just click on that, and then I can change this to something else. So I can say Adorama TV 2 if I wanted to. There is no Adorama TV 2, but if I wanted to, I could do that. If I wanted to clear this all out, I can just push this button, and it will get rid of that for me. And then so I'll just make this again Adorama really fast, and I can type that in there, and there's my Adorama TV. Okay. And I can do that with any of these things. The other thing, frames per second, it has a little menu that brings up all these different frame rates. I can also enter in a custom frame rate if I want to. The date is automatically populated, but you can change that. You can have different cameras, interior, exterior, night shots, and then MOS, so you can pop that up. So that's a motor-only shot, so if you have no audio, you can make sure that you select that. So that's really nice. The other thing that this has on it that it really sets it apart from other slates is its ability to sync timecode. So I can actually double-click this, and there's an ability in here to actually set the timecode. So if I have something that I want it to be set to specifically, I can do that. I can stop or start or pause. I can also go in here and sync with a time code, and there's some additional software that you can buy to sync this to your camera, and so that's a different application, but it's you have the full ability to sync this time code to multiple cameras, as well as an iPhone and multiple slates. So you can do that with Bluetooth or audio or some cables that you can purchase. So it's really nice. Now the other thing that you can do is they have these little moving parts on this. So I can put in my title here. There are these little bars that tell me I can go left. This is data 1, so that's sort of a custom field if I needed to put some custom information in there. And then the other thing on the other side of this, there are some buttons here that I'm going to explain here in a second. So the basic functionality of this is you need to make sure that you mark your time. So if I click this, it counts down, and then it marks my time, and then the shot starts. And so here we are, we're recording something, and this brings up my title. And if I want to, I can add a note to this. So I'll add a note, and I'll say, this is a great take or something. So I'll just say, this is great. So there we go, this is great. And I'll say done. And we're still recording, so your producer or your DP or whoever is needing to take notes can do that. Let's say we're just about to wrap this, and I really like this take, and so I'll circle it, saying that's a good take. I can even go in and make audio notes and say I'll record this. All right, this is an audio note saying that this is the take that we're going to use in final production. So I'll close that there. I'll save it. And so once that's saved, make sure I click save. Okay, now I'm going to end the shot. Now this automatically goes to take 2, slate 2, and so anytime I redo a shot, it's going to auto increment for me. Now the real value in this becomes apparent later. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do one more take. So I'll start this. All right, there's the time code. We're recording this take, and let's say this take is great. I'm going to end that shot, and then we're going to do one more. So I'll just click that. There we go. So now we're on take 3. We're taking this one here, and again, this shot's going along and things are going good, so I will end that shot. Now let me show you why I did that. Now if I go over here to history, I'll just push that there. There we go. Now I have 3 shots, 1, 2, 3. Now remember that very first shot I clicked circle, so it actually has a circle on that saying this is the shot that we want to use. I also have some notes here, and so that little note that I said this is great, well there's the note. So I can adjust that. I can also go ahead and rate these different takes, so I can say the video was great but something happened with the audio, and maybe the audio had a problem where the wireless mic went out. Well, I could note that in here so that we would know what the issues were. We can also search all notes. So if you have a really long production that lasts days and days, and we've done a few of those, sometimes you want to go back and say, hey, what take did we need to get that B-roll on? Well, if you put that in your notes, you could just say, where's my B-roll? It would show up in the notes there. And so you really can keep track of what's happening. And you can also do things like, let's say that this first take actually wasn't the one that we wanted. I can uncircle that. I can go to take 3, and I can circle this note instead. And so now it's take 3 that we want because the video and the audio are both stellar. Now the other thing that's going on with this is it's keeping track of our location, and so the iPad is location aware. So if I want to go in there and see exactly where we shot this, we can do that, so you can keep track of locations. So there's all kinds of things in here that you can go in and look at. The other thing that's really nice is that I can go in here at any moment and add a new note. I can add a new voice memo. So I'm going to go back here. Here's my voice memo that I made earlier.
All right, this is an audio note saying that this is the take that we're going to use in final production.
And there's my audio note. If I wanted to make a new one, I just click this little icon and make a new voice note. I don't want to do that, or a written note. The other thing that's really important is that I can go in here and hit this envelope. So we can email this project or this shot. I'm going to go ahead and say I want to email the entire project. Now here's where things really get interesting, because I can either email plain text, all the notes and all the information, CVS data, or I can, CSV data, sorry, not the pharmacy. I can also make formatted HTML, or I can export this as Final Cut XML. So that is phenomenal, because I can bring in all that XML into my, my Final Cut project and then see all of the logging notes for all of this stuff. So that is a gigantic time saver. Now that's all the history stuff, and that in and of itself is worth the $20, I think. But there are other things that you can do as well. So I can go in here to my camera optics, and for each of these shots, I can set up my aperture setting, my ISO, shutter speed, camera height, lens, all of these different things. And that's really important metadata to have. So if you're trying to reproduce a shot that maybe you took maybe 3 or 4 weeks earlier and you can't remember exactly which angles and camera heights, well, you would actually have notes in here to go from, which is really, really nice. And there's another thing that I wanted to show you, and I mentioned this earlier. If I make this zip over here, I can make notes and voice memos, which I showed you earlier. But the other thing I can do is there's a focus target, so we can make sure everything's in focus. There's also a grayscale target. Now this is not going to be accurate because this is emitting light, but at least it gives you something to use as a reference if you want to match two scenes. There are some color bars as well. And then the nice thing is in your settings, you can go down here, you can really modify these to work the way that you want them to work best. So if I want a different focus chart, I can choose a different focus chart. If I want my different flash graphic to be something different, or my timecode color, there's all kinds of different things that you can do to make sure that your slate works the way that is best for you. You can even go in here and look at how you can sync your different timecode syncings. So there are different ways to do that as well. So that is Movie Slate. It's a really powerful application for the iPad. Well, that's Movie Slate for the iPad. It's about $20, which is a little bit more than what you normally charge for an app for the iPad, but it's totally worth it with all the savings in time that you'll get when you're doing all of your post-production, and you can track down the take that worked. So I highly suggest it. We've been using it here in the studio, and I really, really love it. Well, thanks for joining me this week. Remember, if you have an application that you'd like me to review for the iPad, you can send that to me at askmark@adorama.com. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next week.
This episode is brought to you by Adorama TV. Visit the Adorama Learning Center, where you'll find photography tips and techniques, links to the gear used in this episode, and related videos. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. And the next time you're in New York City, visit our store, located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.